Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I'm so excited for this video because I get to share my vegan Pambazo recipe with you. It is the best torta in my opinion. It's loaded with flavor, and this torta sandwich has been dipped in Guajillo sauce and fried and filled with soy chorizo, potatoes, lettuce, sour cream, cheese. It's amazing. And if you're interested, let's begin. For the Guajillo dipping sauce, you will need 4 de-seeded Guajillo chili peppers, 1 to 2 garlic cloves. I didn't have any, so I used 1.5 teaspoons of minced garlic, also 1 wedge of onion, and this is optional, but I added 1 chile de arbol just to spice it up a bit. To soften the Guajillo chili peppers, place them in a small saucepan with enough water to cover them. Cook for about 7 minutes or until tender. Once the chili peppers are soft and have cooled down, you can scoop them into a blender along with the onion, half a teaspoon of salt, the garlic, and about half a cup of water. You can use the same water they were cooked in. I usually toss that, and in this case I used clean water. Also, I'm adding a pinch of dry oregano, about 1/4 of a teaspoon. I'm gonna blend well and pour into a large bowl. Keep in mind that this sauce is good for about 5 Pambazo tortas. You can always double it if you're making more. And for the potatoes, you will need 4 russet potatoes that have been washed and peeled. And this step is not necessary, but I like to cut mine up into cubes. You can save time by just boiling them in water. And 4 russet potatoes made about a little over 4 cups. But this is the way I cook them. I place them in a large pot with a little bit of vegetable oil. I cover them with the lid and allow them to steam until they're soft. This right here is a Trader Joe's soy chorizo. It's my favorite. In my opinion, it's the best tasting soy chorizo brand. I highly recommend it. And this is what it looks like. It's greasy, and that's perfect. It is so flavorful. It's like the real thing minus the cruelty. I'm now seasoning my potatoes with a little bit of salt, about 1/4 teaspoon. Also, I'll be using this Trader Joe's seasoning. It's a blend of black pepper, onion, oregano, and other savory herbs. It's optional though. Use whatever you have on hand, and no worries because the soy chorizo has enough flavor on its own. I'm now mixing in the soy chorizo. I used over half of the casing, almost all of it actually. And this is solely on taste. Add as much soy chorizo or as little as you'd like. But to be honest, my way is definitely more. The more soy chorizo, the better for me. I just love the taste. And with a large cooking spoon, mix well while slightly mashing the potatoes. You want it to be lumpy, just like this. Onto this delicious bread. The bottom 2 are regular bolillos. This bread is soft inside with a crunchy crust, perfect for your tortas. And the top 3 are the teleras, which we'll be using for this recipe. Teleras are identical to bolillos. You can tell them apart because bolillos are similar to French bread. They look like a small baguette. And the teleras are wider, and they're also scored, so you could make out 3 sections on top. And when purchasing, be sure to ask your baker if they were made with any animal products. Unfortunately, some places make theirs with pork lard and sometimes egg whites. Alright, the next step is to carefully cut around the side of the telera bread. Try to cut evenly so both sides of the bread are the same size. Once you have your telera bread cut and ready, the next step is to dip in the Guajillo sauce that was blended earlier. Be sure to evenly coat it. Also, have your hot frying pan ready to go with about 2 tablespoons or more of vegetable oil. I'm using grapeseed oil. Also, I had my frying pan over a high heat. Carefully place your coated bread in the frying pan, and as you can see, the oil starts changing color immediately because of the Guajillo chili peppers. And you're just gonna let it hang out and fry. With the cooking spoon, you want to press down on the bread because you want it to be sort of wet crispy. So this is ensuring that it's getting crispy evenly on the bottom side. Do this to the other side as well. And if you get a few charred parts, not to worry, you're actually looking for that. Those parts are the tastiest. It's so good. And something I do when the sauce looks like it's drying, I brush on more Guajillo sauce onto the bread and continue frying. And when both sides are crispy, wet looking, and look something like this, take it out and set aside over wax paper. Onto the toppings, this is a vegan sour cream I'll be using, and to the right is a vegan Parmesan cheese, also fine white diced onion, but of course, fresh salsa. I made a quick green salsa. If you're interested in the recipe, I'll link it below. You can make it ahead of time and store it in the fridge for a few days, so you can always have salsa on hand. Also, last but not forgotten, finely sliced lettuce. I love iceberg lettuce for this recipe because it is very crunchy. And here is a potato soy chorizo. So now we're ready to begin assembling our pambazos. Here is my freshly fried telera. I love the vibrant color. Let's get into it by adding a heaping amount of the potato soy chorizo. Top it with diced white onion, followed by the lettuce, sour cream, and the vegan Parmesan cheese. Also, drizzle your favorite salsa, and if you have avocados on hand, be sure to add a few slices. It's so good. And this is definitely optional, but I like to spread a little bit of this vegan mayo to one of the bread slices because why not? I love greasy Mexican food. So once you're done with your toppings, place the top of the bread slice over the rest, and bam, you have an amazing savory pambazo, a must try for sure. Look at the slightly charred bread, so tasty. It's moist in the best of ways because of the Guajillo sauce, but at the very same time, it's crispy. It's just a perfect combination of texture and flavors. And like I said earlier, in my opinion, this is the best sandwich. It's definitely a treat. This is Mexican vegan junk food at its best. I hope you give this recipe a try, and also subscribe for more vegan Mexican recipes. I love to share good food, and as always, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, take care.